So good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. It's after lunchtime here on the farm and I'm headed out. And I didn't get to do a video yesterday. We have some family stuff going on. So I wanted to catch up with you, let you know I'm doing okay. I need a hug. Can I get a little hug? Just a little one. You know, it's like that. But I welcome you back and thank you for being here. I may have to pull to a different spot because, you know, the sun's doing all of its shenanigans here. But I have a couple of things I want to talk to you about today. You've been on my mind and I've missed you. It's just we've been preoccupied with some family stuff going on. And I'll get into that in just a moment. So I just want to let you know that over the next, I don't know, maybe week, I don't really know. My videos might be a little hit or miss because we have a situation with a member of the family. It's not my mother or dad or my Nana, but somebody in our family, real important to us, is basically on hospice. It is a end-of-life scenario, okay? So we're all helping each other and visiting and making arrangements and helping the family and doing all of that. So you do all of the farm stuff and your job and your kids and all that, and then a situation comes up that just really is very time-consuming. I mean, it's important. It's supposed to be. But I'm just saying, if my videos are a little hit or miss, that's what Patara is doing today. Okay, so that's where I'm headed right now, and I'll be back this evening. So this video probably won't get up until after dark tonight, and I hope to film another one. Something I want to show you. We have to candle some eggs and talk about a scenario, and I have a teaching moment with incubating eggs, and we got a lot going on with these turkeys. So that's coming. So I'm hoping to get that filmed tonight. That's a good time to film candling. Obviously, or at least the candling part, that is, because it's darker wherever my eggs are right now, whether it's in the kitchen, in the bathroom, or under a hen. You want to candle eggs in a dark environment. You're just going to see, up to a certain point, you're going to see things better. So I've got that coming up. A lot of things going on the farm. We are good. I am good. I am okay. But it is a busy time. So I just want to let you know that. That's why it's a little busy. So, and like I said before, any prayers are always welcome. But here's the thing. So I want to ask you, let's just get back onto some of these topics real quick. So did you panic yesterday? Did your drawers get all up in a wad? No, I don't think yours did, because you folks are smart and you're constantly doing your due diligence. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have concerns. Doesn't mean you don't see things and you're like, woohoo, I know, right? But you're smart enough to know that one way or another, at some point, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when things could get dicey, whether it's now in the attempt to save our country or if it's in 5 years. We're on a path of some things that are still a little unknown. And I'm watching from a distance because since Saturday, when this scenario really kicked in, and we have done a few little things, and life takes you over here a little bit sometimes. The Lord wants to put you over here a little bit, right? I've really been observing some videos and different people, even that I enjoy listening to for the most part. And it's interesting to watch all of these financial, quote, experts, end quote. And they know more about stuff than I do. I think a lot of times what it comes down to is common sense, though. And where you place your most important values. I think that's really what this video is trying to zone in on, is what are you fighting for? We'll get into that. I'm watching somebody basically fight at the end of his or her life right now. And that's brought on a whole perspective. And it's interesting because I'm watching people that I, for the most part, enjoy listening to and have learned a lot from. But again, it's that whole situation of observing and absorbing only what is positive or what applies to you and doing your best. And it goes back to the question of, what are you fighting for? What are we fighting for? And here's why I say that. We went to downtown Knoxville on Saturday. One of my sons had to be downtown for a little bit for something he's got going on with school. And there was an exhibit that I knew that was going on down there, the Violins of Hope. I think it's free. It's on Gay Street in Knoxville, on the opposite side of Gay Street from the Tennessee Theater, at the Emporium building. It's free. It's free, free, free. I think it's going on till the 10th, but don't quote me. So today's the 8th. And it is displaying violins, and I captured some pictures and a little bit of footage of it. I'm going to put it at the front of this video. And I hope you read some of the stories. It's violins that have been with stories from the Holocaust and Holocaust victims. And it's from different places. Very moving. Some of the violins especially are just gorgeous. They've obviously been, I would imagine, been restored. But the carving and it just... I hope you have a chance to look at that at the beginning of the video. And if you are in the Knoxville area, I think it's an important exhibit for you to see. And I just want to mention that. But here's the thing. So we were down there. So my son had to do something. So we sort of made it a family afternoon deal, right? So I was down there. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not keeping up with who's going to be protesting where. And I stay away from all that stuff. So by default, I kind of go... Oh, did I see something on Facebook about April? Is it April the 5th? Is something going on? So we were in downtown Knoxville, and we went to some shops, and we visited that exhibit, and we got a little lunch, and whatever. People were all early afternoon, lunch, early afternoon. The place was packed. Obviously, we're moving into the time of the Dogwood Arts Festival. If you've ever been to it in Knoxville, it's a big deal. And a lot of people, usually on Saturdays in downtown Knoxville anyway, at Market Square. They also have the farmers market, you know, all kinds of stuff, really good restaurants, whatever. And typically pretty busy. Very busy on Saturday. And I told James, I said, look at all these people. I even took a picture of it. I said, look at all these people getting along. Different colors. You know, a lot of us don't necessarily agree down to the nitty gritty on several things. We're all walking around, being sweet, smiling at their babies. Look at that puppy. Look at that, look at that poodle over there or whatever. People were doing their thing. Not a problem. Not a problem. But as the afternoon pressed on, it got time for us to get close to, us leaving and whatever. It's interesting because... I saw a guy wearing a shirt, and it was pretty obscene. And I'm not going to quote what he says, but it was about Trump, and it was pretty ugly. I mean, it had language on it and everything. I'm like, really? Can you not? Come on. Okay, whatever. No big deal. Went a little further down the street. I saw another dude wearing the exact same shirt, and I looked at James. I said, something's going on here. They're like matching up. Isn't that cute? Well, then you started seeing a couple of people with like some signs, the same signs. I said, yeah, something's going on. Well, I just want to let you know that by default, I had to be next to a gal, and I really prayed on this, and she had on a pretty interesting shirt and sign and everything, and she's very much for ending life at the early stages, and I'll just leave it at that. And I just looked at her, and she looked at me, and I said, sweetheart, I just want you to know that Jesus saves. What else can you say? Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. I took a risk there, but I said it because I felt like it was necessary. That's somebody's soul right there. And she looked at me. She was so confused. She was so confused. And I just looked at her and said, what I mean is whatever you got going on here, whatever your emotions are, or whatever you're going through in your life right now, I just want you to know Jesus is the answer, and he saves. Do you know that girl didn't respond at all? I don't think she knew what to do. So, I'm always about we have to make decisions at times. It's like, do we say something? I think it's very valid. Here's my hand right there. I think it's important that at times we do. And I felt moved to do it. And we started to leave, get to where our car was. And there was another girl. She's kind of pitiful. I thought she was. And she was holding up a sign about saving our democracy. And I just looked at her and I said, how you doing? I said, we live in a constitutional republic, right? You know what that is? She didn't. She sort of smiled and shook her head. She didn't know what to say. So here's what I'm saying. A lot of these things you saw this past weekend, obviously we can say they're paid and they're organized and paid. I think that's pretty much come out by now. But I'm just letting you know, there's probably some there that, they feel justified in what they're doing, but a lot of them don't understand why they're there. And I think open dialogue is important. But I mean, you know, nobody was ugly. Nobody, you know, was physical or anything like that. It was very just casual. These people didn't know. These two women did not know why they were in downtown Knoxville on Saturday, walking around with obscene shirts and these signs. And the impression that I got, because wouldn't they have answered the question? Wouldn't they have made at least an argument? I mean, they just looked at me like it was a deer in the headlight, baby. And I want you to know that a lot of times, that's why it's important that we talk about the propaganda and we talk about the trolls and the bots and all those, what we just talked about in the last video, about all of these things that are making comments and people are reading it and they're being persuaded by it or whatever. It's simply, they're not, either they're ignorant, either they're uneducated, they are desperate. I don't know. And you know, this thing probably happens on, there's no probably, I'll be fair. I'm pretty confident to say that I understand that it's happening probably on both sides. I'll just say probably because I don't know anybody that is going to be going downtown causing a ruckus if they didn't know why they were there. I don't associate with those types of people, so I don't know. But this is what we're leading to. Our country is in distress. Our people are financially in distress. Do you know what you're focusing on and why? What is your purpose? What is the most important things to you? A lot of people yesterday that are panicking. Now, this is going to come off the wrong way to somebody, and that's not what it's meant to do. But if you've been around for the last 5 to 15 years, you should already know where we are in terms of the finances of this country. And we're hitting on this a lot lately, and we predicted this, didn't we? I know if you've been here at least the last 6 to 9 months, you know that we were like, okay, if things get rough or if something happens or if there's a rug pull, they're going to blame Trump. I mean, we've been talking about this and hitting on this for quite some time, right? The phenomenon of us being in a recession, a deep recession, possible depression. You know where I stand on this. Guys, this is not a new conversation. And we need to focus on not allowing the media, the organized protesting, the voices here or there, the people freaking out over only the stock market. Stock market and the economy are not one and the same. And the question goes back to, what are you going to do about it? I'm not freaking out about the stock market. I mean, you have to realize that you're going to have to focus on your preparedness and your management of where you are and your future and your retirement in other ways, okay? A lot of people that are probably, heavily invested and relying on the stock market probably aren't debt-free. And if that's you, I'm not scolding you. I'm just saying maybe this is supposed to be a reevaluation of what we need to be doing. And if you know people that are not freaking out, why are they not freaking out? There's a reason for that. They've already become debt-free. They know they're doing the best that they can. Maybe, they're obviously their pantry is full. They've diversified. You hear all this about, you got to diversify. You got to diversify your portfolio. I mean, I've been listening to some financial advisors that honestly I'm aware of, but even just in the past 2 or 3 days, it's like, because I guess of what I'm listening to, they're popping up. And I'm like, were you giving this same advice about calm down? And, I don't agree with this, and the American people are getting hit, and this is going to be this, and the inflation. Were those people saying that 2 to 3 years ago? That's what you need to question. So we have to get rid of these voices, and we have to look at, okay, you're telling me to diversify. I'm going to go a heck of a lot further with that, okay? Right? I'm going to become more spiritually grounded, and I'm going to make sure that I can get through a tougher time more so than the average bear. Because, folks, what are your assets? To me, an asset is your skill sets, is the fact that you're working on, you are or becoming debt-free. Do you know how to do anything to fight for yourself in order to manage yourself in terms of having food, water, and basics? Everybody's in this rat race wheel, and it's been this way for a long, long time. Kick yourself out of it, folks, because all it is the panic button now. I'm not panicked. We're not panicked. It's not that we shouldn't have concerns and watch things, but when you have been working on what you need to work on, which are the important things of your health, your family history, most importantly, your relationship with God, what this country stands for, what did your family fight for, you understand at least the basics of some of the topics. You're not just throwing yourself and your emotions to the wind to literally be used and abused by those that will do it, and they're everywhere. You have to find your purpose, which means you have to find out what you're fighting for, because you are in a fight, whether you recognize it or not, whether I want to talk about it today or not. We're all in it. We're in a spiritual warfare. Who are you going to be, and what are you going to stand for? If today is your last day, what did you do? Did you know why you went downtown and protested on Saturday? Did you really have a purpose, no matter who you are or what the cause is? Make sure you understand the value of yourself and your place right now. Are you doing it to disrupt? Are you here to be lazy? Are you here to be a mooch? Are you here to make change? What change? Is it going to be violent? I hope not. Now, this crowd I know is very much in tune with the same line of thinking as me. So, I mean, I get it. So it's that whole thing of preaching to the choir. But I've really been thinking about this. It's like, why are these people freaking out? The stock market has been doing what it's been doing for a couple of years. Did you were smart with that, right? Right? I mean, a lot of people will tell you to, quote, pull some off the table and do something smart with it. I mean, did you do that? Did you? I don't know. See, I don't operate in that world. So it really amazes me that people that even have all this opportunity become greedy to a degree. That doesn't mean it's you. So don't get defensive. This is not something to get defensive about. We're just talking it out and trying to motivate people to find their purpose, okay? But if you've been successful there, that was an opportunity perhaps. What did you do with it? Do you really think you're just going to become a multi-millionaire? You might, but here's the thing. What were you going to do with it if you did, or if you were, or if you could? Again, what is your purpose? Because if you're not thinking it through and your heart is not pure as possible, and you don't have good intentions and good plans, I'm not sure necessarily you're going to meet that goal. And there's a reason for that. We have to get right here, and we have to get right here. So what is your purpose? What are you fighting for? I know what I'm fighting for. And I'm not going to be wealthy in my fight. I know that. I'm very well aware of that. And I'm okay with that. I just want to be healthy, doing what I feel God's telling me to do. Help people, help my family, and just move along. Move along. Because folks, if you think this is going to go away anytime soon, I don't think so. I think we're going to see a lot more volatility, whether it's in the stock market or not. We're in a massive fight because you've been thrown into the bottom of the trench, okay? And the soldiers are standing on you right now. If there's a fighting chance, which I believe that there is, I keep that hope, then make it count. Where are your priorities? Stress and panic and anxiety and fear-mongering over the stock market, I'm not sure that's it. But you'll have to ask and find out for yourself. And if you are upset and you are panicked, you need to ask yourself, why are you panicked? Is your house paid for? I mean, if you've got all this money somewhere and you're doing all of these things, especially over the last several years, especially if you've gotten into like cryptocurrency, I don't even know all about it. What I'm trying to tell you is that money is like a feather blowing in the wind, and it just swirled around a long time. Will it go up to 50,000? As you know, you've seen some people today. I've seen today on the news saying it's going to be 50. It could be 50,000 by the end of Trump's term. I hope that it is. And I hope you make $1 million off of it. And I hope that you can, you know, retire or do whatever you need to do with it. I hope so. But if that doesn't happen, what is your plan? And at the end of the day, who are you and what do you stand for? And most importantly, what are you fighting for? Food for thought. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. I hope you're doing well. And give me a hug. I appreciate you being here. We're going to keep the videos rolling. Obviously, I have to be busy here and doing all the things that we're doing here. It's just, if I have to go and help and come back, it's just I was doing laundry again at 11 o'clock last night. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't film my video today, which was related to this topic. So just want you to know I'm thinking of you, and I appreciate you for being here. Keep up the good fight, guys. Life is so short. It really, really is. Cherish those that are close to you and that you love. Don't wait for the last minute to tell them. Spend time with them, especially your elders. Understand your family history. Understand what your grandparents and great-great-grandparents fought for. I think you're going to find, in most cases, to be generic, but I think you're going to find that ultimately they were not only just fighting to survive, but they were fighting to survive so you could have a legacy. Make it count. I love you. Take care. And guys, I'll see you on the next video.